Reapers. By far some of the most creepy and fear-inducing dinos ARK has to offer. Today, however, I decided to embark on a treacherous journey to conquer ARK's most difficult map while also replacing every creature with the dreadful Reaper. Yeah, that includes light pets as well. And what this means is that I will have to use many different techniques to not only hurt the Reapers, but also tame them, with the ultimate goal of taking down the aberration boss, Rockwell. Oh, and on a final note, this challenge was really damn hard, so consider subscribing. Anyways, enjoy the video. Oh... Okay, I'm so dead, dude. Okay. The beginning of this challenge reminded me heavily of the Giga one I did a while back. Why? Because I was going to die. A lot. My first goal was to try and grab an Explorer Note, as the extra levels could definitely give me much needed advantage. Explorer Note! Man! After dying a few times though, I spawned super close to an Explorer Note, but when I went over to grab it... Give me the box. Give me the box. Relog. Okay, we'll load back in. And now I can grab this, right? Now I can grab this, right? Okay, we're cooked. I need to go there and there. Well, at least I managed to collect one Explorer Note, which wasn't too bad, and for my troubles I got awarded with 11 levels, which went straight into movement speed. Yeah, I don't really think it's gonna help though. After getting my ass handed to me in Portal, I decided to try out another small location, namely Fertile Lake 2. And besides a super close call with a Reaper, this new zone actually allowed me to collect some much needed resources. As night fell, a local drop gave me a bunch of stone structures as well as some very useful saddles. But unfortunately, as you may have heard, I got a Reaper following me. So am I gonna die? No, as this brings me to my trump card. A box with a window. Okay, as you see me sitting in this box, you might wonder, okay, so how are you actually gonna escape the Reapers? Well, my dear viewer, by picking up everything and making a run for it. When the Reaper comes out of the ground, I have a few seconds of grace in which I can do anything I want. But after those seconds are up, you already know what happens. But after escaping those Reapers, I ran into, well, another Reaper. But since building the little box takes a few solid seconds that I don't really have to spare, I tried grabbing his attention with gates. Upon returning to the crime scene, my plan did work and the Reaper got attracted to the gate, so I took my stuff back and very sneakily made my way past him. Also, I guess I should clarify, but I'm trying to go to the lantern tower thing, as it'll come in handy like crazy later, and also without it, I just can't really progress. On the way to one such tower, a Reaper stopped me for questioning, so I tried outsmarting it. Can make him fall off if he rushes forward and then falls off. He hits through. GG, I'm dead. After returning and grabbing my stuff back, I made it up to the tower, rebuilt my little stone box, and began decimating the local ecosystem for many resources. After farming for a few minutes, I got enough resources for 4 foundations and 4 gates, which I then placed down right next to the tower. And with the trap set, I had just 2 more things left to take care of. The first one was to make 1000 arrows. Yeah. The lack of the armory station mod, coupled with the Reaper's insane health bar, were 100% going to lead to disaster. But before worrying about the arrows, I wanted to get a Reaper trapped, as that seemed like the easier task. Attempt was made. Oh, it's level 50? Why? No, I need to lead you away.
Oh my god, inhuman!
Never mind, I'm just gonna have to take a nap. Then once returned again, I took both Reapers' attention and led them to a decent distance away from the trap so I could trap a Reaper in peace. Getting back to the trap, however, was not going to be that easy the first time around. Well, is this gonna make an entertaining video for you, I suppose, but definitely not for me. You killed yourself, yeah, I bet. Oh my god. Let me go. Dead. Oh, what? No. I'm dead. Let's go on the C-spin. And I'm... But after a pretty long while of just dying, I managed to sneakily collect another Explorer note, grab my stuff back, and make it back to base. Great. So back to where I was 30 minutes ago. Okay. Then I took a mandatory nap, and after waking up, I resumed my quest of trapping the Reaper. But after almost passing out of those rooms, I placed the last gate and... Yes! Wait, he does have defected. Ladies and gentlemen, the definition of celebrating too early. For some pretty weird reason, the Reaper didn't get the light buff, probably because of the gate. So what I had to do was give him some more room, which wasn't that easy, mind you. Free, go! But after expanding the trap, I let the Reaper loose and then quickly ran into my hobby check as it was time to shoot 1,000 arrows into this beast. And so, after 30 minutes of continuously shooting the Reaper, it finally fell, and for my troubles, I got awarded with a plentiful supply of hide. The first thing I crafted with my new hide was a spyglass, as it would help me in taming a Reaper later on, as well as a mandatory bed, as I'm tired of dying 30 times to return here. Then, believe it or not, I actually expanded my little box, which means that after 32 videos, I finally built a base with a roof. Thank you, I know, crazy accomplishment, right? But yeah, after making a little base for myself, I crafted the refining forge as I was gonna need it either way. Then I also made a smithy, and with this bad boy crafted, I had access to metal tools so I could farm resources a lot faster. Nice. Unfortunately, I couldn't use my new pickaxe all too much, since the only source of metal I had were river rocks, that were of course infested by reapers. Thankfully, I could still use my pickaxe to farm precious green gems for climbing peaks later on. What? Ah. And while farming, more metal also smelted, so I crafted a crossbow as it could deal a lot more damage than my bow, and I noticed a few neighbors knocking on my door, one of which being a decently high level Reaper. But before actually doing something stupid, I took another mandatory nap and I began expanding the trap. You see, what I'm trying to do, actually let me just pull up paint here. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make a trap right next to the lantern tower so I can get the Reaper low. Then, once low enough, I lead the Reaper into a separate compartment where he will lose the light buff and become eligible to impregnate me with a baby Reaper. And I can also kill him for levels. Sound good? Of course it does. Last thing I had to absolutely do was make a little airlock for when the Reaper will actually be born, which means that I've built 2 bases this playthrough. Holy record! But before dealing with the Reaper though, I didn't want to waste 30 minutes again, so I went to the gym, and when I came back, the Reaper despawned. Which is also when I learned that leaving forces all dinos to despawn and respawn. But thanks to this little respawn though, I managed to find a beautiful level 150 Reaper in front of my base. So, you know exactly what I did next. I died, of course. Twice actually. But after those little setbacks, I trapped the Reaper, and with my brand new crossbow dealing 95 damage instead of 55, it was time to get to work. After getting the Reaper low, I picked up the trap, separating him from the no light trap, and while trying to get his attention, I got smacked. So I invested in a shield which allowed me to get him in the other trap. All I was left to do was heal him up. But of course it's not that easy, as he killed me, and after returning he harvested my body, which gave him a whopping 7,000 health back. Not the end of the world, but definitely a major setback. Then I struggled a lot to get him back into the killing chamber, but after I did, I got his HP low again, put him back in the second trap, and just waited for the attack. Yes, so now we can just wait here for the thing, and then we can get grabbed, and we can... fuck. What the fuck? Please? Smelt again. Jump. Please? This looks promising. After inevitably getting impregnated, I tried killing the Reaper so I could max out the baby. He, however, had other plans. No, what the fuck? Despite the Reaper burying himself in the ground, his name tag was still there, which got me thinking, what if he's just bugged? So I picked up the trap, and sure enough, he was still there. So I quickly healed him and boom, 75 levels. All there was left for me to do was wait for the Reaper to hatch. Then I imprinted him and then got a bunch of resources while waiting. Ultimately, however, I resorted to pure FK as there wasn't really anything left for me to do without the Reaper. After he grew, however, I was free to take him wherever I would please. The first place I visited being the Reaper store so I could get another one in case this one dies, as there's no way I'm shooting thousands of arrows again. While leading this 145 in the trap, I got distracted, during which time he managed to make his escape. When I put the Reaper in the trap again, turns out that it was a completely different one. So what did I end up doing? Kill the bloody bastard for some sweet levels, hey mate? No, but seriously, I just killed him for levels. Then, as I was looking at my Reaper's busted stats, I realized that maybe single player settings are just a little bit too broken. So I removed them and resumed the challenge. Upon loading back in, the Reapers infested my base again and also beat me pretty dang hard. Very thankful of the roof I built, as otherwise everything would have been turned to dust, including me. So after like 5 to 10 minutes of just wandering around and trying to lead the Reapers away from my base, I managed to defend it and could resume the challenge.
Whatever, which pull this guy knife C spin off. C spin that's C spin him off. Watch this. So let's do this. Yeah, that worked. Okay.
Next goal, besides getting another Reaper, is to grow some flashbangs, as they could more than definitely come in handy for not only the caves but also future Reaper taming. With a flashbang though, I was going to need a flashbang plant seed. Okay, that sounds... yeah, okay. The way you get such seed is by hanging around the light plant. Not a particularly easy task in a world filled with Reapers. But despite all the setbacks and issues, I took my Reaper and headed out to look for one such plant. While out looking, I also realized that fighting Reapers without a trap was not going to be a viable strategy. And while running away, I got pushed off into the blue zone. And after making my way out of said blue zone, I got cornered by some Reapers. Minor foreshadowing. After those slight setbacks, I found a lone flower that I stood around for a while until it pooped out 3 seeds.
Oh, well. Too bad.
Then, after finally obtaining said seeds, I swiftly made my way back home. Once I arrived home, however, a Reaper managed to somehow follow me up the hill, so I made sure to give him a warm welcome by trapping him up and killing him for hide. Easy money. But where was I? Right, flashbangs. To grow flowers in this game you need fertilizer, but since I have a very limited roster of creatures, getting that was gonna be a bit harder than usual. While thinking of ways which I could get more fertilizer, I also decided to head up to the local surface entrance to gather a bunch of metal for later, and on the way found a crazy blue drop that contained quite a lot of cementing paste. So I absolutely wanted to get it, especially since cementing paste will become useful later when I craft the gas collectors to unlock the red zone.
Man, this game is a flaming dumpster, I swear to God. Nah. What?
Leaving that dark encounter aside, I made my way to the surface and grabbed as much metal as my little heads could carry. Then, out of curiosity, try smashing one of the local bones and surprise, surprise, they drop keratin. After grabbing a plentiful supply of resources from that expedition, I returned home, escaped an angry Reaper, expand my metal factory using the priorly obtained hide, and then I also found out a way to get a lot of poop. Shrooms. You see, getting in contact with such shrooms will, well, besides killing you, also make your character drop a lot of fertilizer, so safe to say that's another problem ticked off my list of problems to take care of. Afterwards I expanded the base a little bit, as with the new forge in place, entering became a little bit very much difficult, and I turned pretty much all the keratin I obtained into cementing paste. But yeah, after taking care of that, I trapped a decently high level Reaper and also gave metal shields a go.
Wow, okay, dude.
Wooden ones are way better and they're way cheaper. Then I tried getting the Reaper to impregnate me, which was pretty hard to be honest.
Good. Nice game, man.
And it took him so long to make a move, in fact, that the flower plant that I grew earlier grew.
Is it because of this fucking plant, dude?
Which means that it emits light. So rest in peace base trap, I suppose. On the bright side though, I got some flashbangs. The first of many actually. The reason I've been wanting this item so bad is that I can just throw it on a Reaper, then it gets the light buff and then I can easily kill it. Won't help too much under normal circumstances, but when I will need to tame Reapers or go into the caves as you'll see later, these will become lifesavers. Then I C-spin some Reapers off my platform before deciding that my base should be their base for a while, during which period I went over to the blue zone entrance in search for obsidian for later, as well as blue gems for a glider suit. By the time I returned back, it was already night, so I cleared out the area and noticed it was 90% night actually. Absolute perfect time to run some surface drops. Or at least that was a plan, as I didn't think I'd actually have to deal with this going up to surface, but yeah. While running away, a pack of Reapers noticed me and pushed me into a corner out of which I couldn't really find a way out of. Or so I thought, as despite ARK being a buggy mess and trolling people often, it does have its saving grace moments, such as this one. However, despite escaping a near devastating experience, the night was still going strong, so I made my way to the other surface entrance. Yeah, never mind. Unfortunately, by the time I reached the third and final surface entrance, it was already daytime, so I couldn't hang around for even just a second. Very productive night, I must say. Back home, I crafted that glider suit I mentioned earlier and then got started with growing another Reaper, as the experience from last night almost left me friendless again. By using the flashes, I didn't even need to worry about 2 traps. All I had to worry about was dealing damage and reapplying the buff. Super convenient. With a brand new Reaper fresh out of the oven, okay wait, that sounds wrong, but you get what I mean though. I noticed that it turned night again, so I quickly set out to the surface entrance as I was determined to get a few drops tonight.
Can't make it, the shit's stuck! Out my way, son! Door stuck! Door stuck!
Maybe some other time actually. On the way back to base, I found level 150R Reaper, basically a Reaper with better colors. So I separated it from the group and skillfully put it into the Reaper trap. Then of course, I skillfully died.
Do spin. Not that.
Then I got it low, yada yada, fell asleep again, got impregnated, killed the dude for XP, and hashed a new acquisition. Then while waiting, I went AFK and
Wait, I'm dying, I was AFK.
Oh, and also, thanks to all my silly little adventures left and right, my Reaper took quite a beating, so I spent a fair bit of the night to search for another flower that I could hang around for a bit for him to regen. In the meantime, I also collected a bunch of local resources for later. Thankfully though, flowers are crazy good for healing, so it didn't take too long to actually heal him up. After which I returned home, kept the flashes, and now, very important info. I need red gems. But since the surface doesn't work and I don't have any way to get them otherwise, my best bet are earthquakes in the blue zone. So I made my way back to the spot from earlier and waited.
Where is the earthquake?
And after a prolonged period of just waiting, the game finally blessed me with an earthquake. But no red gems. And even if I would have gotten red gems, actually it would have been like a very insignificant amount, like 3 or 4 out of the 20 that I need. So I left that alone for now and shift my focus into getting the fabricator, for which I needed oil. Thankfully though, oil is actually super easy to get in aberration, so all I did was just go to the surface, grab a little bit of it, and then as I was trying to go back...
No. Okay, thankfully I have the gate here this time, so they can't really trap me like last time. No, but they trap me in the gate.
But I managed to escape, thanks to the same bug from earlier. Then once I arrived back to camp, I made the fabricator, put it down, made an air conditioner so prior events don't happen again, as well as the 2 scuba pieces I'll be needing for a certain cave very soon. I noticed how I said fairly. Yeah, that's because we're doing the caves right now. On the way to the first cave, I stumbled across a blue drop containing a blue climbing pick. Doesn't seem like a lot, but judging by how much climbing I'll have to eventually do, this will surely be a good tool to have. So after grabbing it, I arrived in the glowtail cave. Once inside, I had a few corridors to go through, and once done with that, the artifact was free to take. 1 out of 3. Also, don't worry about the fact that there's no Reapers here, because future caves will under no circumstance be this forgiving. Trust me. Once returned with the artifact, I repaired all my gear and began thinking whether or not I should grab a shotgun with me or not. Ultimately deciding not to, as Reapers had way too much health for the primitive shotgun. Also, editor note, I really should have brought an extra flak set, but whatever, as it's time for the second cave. Once arrived, I made sure to use my glider suit to the max to outrun Reapers, as any advantage I could use, I had to use in order to complete this cave. Thankfully, after making it past the treacherous corridor, I squeezed through a crouch point and made it to the main part of the cave. Now all I gotta do is just lead the whole Reaper squadron out the way so I can actually progress. Go up, 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 up. Oh my god, go, 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 go. Oh, oh. After clearing out the way, I went through the purple flower zone, making sure to not stop under any circumstance, and after arriving on the other side, I grabbed my climbing pick and squeezed my way through a crack in the wall, making it further up into the cave. Then after a little bit of swinging, I arrived at the artifact. So I quickly grabbed it, bringing my total to 2 out of 3. And then I risked everything by plunging into the water by using my glider suit. Also the Reapers weren't moving because they bugged. Thank you wildcard. But after making it to the last section, I almost died. But I managed to cry my Reaper, throw him back out and then punch away through the Reapers to make it out of the cave. Back at the crib, I deposited everything as well as recrafted a brand new set of flag. Then I shifted my focus into getting a grinder. Why? You see, my plan was to do a few more surface runs, see if I get something that contains red gems or gas balls, grind them, then craft what I need. The only issue was that it turned day, so I had no choice but to wait. And in the meantime, I went to wait for a few earthquakes. You might also be wondering, why not I just suicide farm red gems in the red zone? Well, that's easy, it's because of this. After collecting an earthquake, I managed to get only shit resources, which means that I'm not going to rely on this method anymore going forward. Then it turned dark, so I immediately went to the local surface entrance, making sure to collect this purple drop on the way. After getting nothing for the entire night, I noticed that it was about to turn day. However, on the way to the exit, I found an ascendant climbing peak in a drop.
Hey ho! I actually want that. I don't know how I'll get it, but I will try my best to actually get that.
So I waited, took it, but when I wanted to leave, I encountered a massive issue. And if that wasn't enough, I also got cornered by Reapers, and with the night running shorter and shorter, there wasn't anything left for me to do.
We're gonna burn to death. Let me go.
So I lost my first, best and dearest Reaper to a fucking climbing peak. Worst of all, I couldn't go save the Reaper directly as it was going to be day for about 30 minutes if not more. But after waiting for night, I took my other Reaper and headed out to the crime scene, only to find the Reaper dead as well as my gear nowhere to be found. Which means I didn't sacrifice my Reaper for climbing peak. I sacrificed everything for fucking nothing. At least I ended up saving this Reaper and quickly returned home to re-gear. After which I set out back to the surface, being 10 times as careful this time around. But yeah, this is basically what I did for the next few hours, do surface drops, then AFK for it to be night again, then go again. In the meantime, I also made sure to make a lot more gunpowder for later, as well as resume taming Reapers for Rockwell. Then, after realizing the red gems from surface wasn't going to happen ever, I installed a mod called the Gem and Crystal Forge that allows me to turn blue gems into red gems, ultimately allowing me to progress and finish this challenge. Oh, and also post the video in like a reasonable time window. So, with my newly acquired red gems, I made a few gas pumps which I placed around my base as well as got another Reaper. Afterwards, I made some zipline thingies in preparations for the last cave, which I don't really know how they work, but they're gonna be good to have. Then I walled off my entire base so Reapers can't attack me while I'm AFKing, and while on the topic of walls, I also built another wall so Reapers can't shoot me from below, and after taking care of my base, the gas collectors were hard at work and managed to collect just enough gas pods to craft a full hazard set. So I made that and set out to the third, hardest and final cave of aberration. After arriving in the elemental vault, I was very skeptical to go forward, and because of this, I was heavily rewarded as I could see tens of Reapers fall to their slow deaths into the element pits. And after leading a few more Reapers in the pit, I made a run for it. I knew that I had to do everything perfectly as just the slightest of mistakes can end up with me in an element pit, or even worse, back to my green zone bed. Back home, I had to dispose of all the local Reapers for the 20th time now, but this time was different.
No, what the fuck is that? I saw that, I saw that, I saw that. No, I saw that, I saw that, I saw that, I saw that, I saw that. No.
While trying to go back up to save the babies, all the Reapers I've previously disrespected made a collective effort to throw me into a corner while the Reaper at the top disposed of my hard-earned babies. I could not let this happen. So in a desperate attempt, I sacrificed myself, swiftly took another Reaper and tried saving the Reapers.
No, I have an idiot in my base.
After the Reaper got stuck, I also wanted to try and free the big Reaper from below, but these Reapers were determined to fuck something up.
Nice killing my other Reaper, man! No! Man, what the fuck?
Thankfully though, not everything was lost as they did manage to save the baby one at the cost of yet another grown Reaper.
I genuinely feel like crying, man.
With that knowing experience out the way, I grabbed my stuff back, deposited the artifact, made a lot more gunpowder as well as an assault rifle for Rockwell plus bullets for it because it was time to take down this bitch. Actually, on second thought, back home I had a few preparations to get through, namely making some medical brews, easy peasy, getting some armor blueprints, hard as fuck, and getting more Reapers, easy peasy. My plan to get the Reapers this time was to get impregnated, but not kill the Reaper. This means that it could be reused for multiple Reapers and would allow me to build an army way quicker than before. The only disadvantage being that I won't get any XP on my Reaper. While capturing my third Reaper, however, I got intercepted by another Reaper. Big surprise, I know. But after returning, I took my stuff back, led him away, baited the queen to come out of the ground, killed her, and then returned home to hash the penultimate Reaper. Afterwards, I made an industrial cooker, which I then used to make a bunch of medical brews, and lastly, made a refrigerator to give those medical brews a place to sit. And last but not least, set out again close to my base to get just one more Reaper so that I had an even number of Reapers for Rockwell. After the little dude hatched, you may have noticed that it turned night, which means that it's time for some intense drop farming until the Reapers grow big and strong. And after being done with that, I returned home, but as it turns out, I didn't get very good things. But alas, they should suffice, as it's only Gamma. So I waited a bit for the Reapers to finish growing, and once they did, it was time to do Rockwell. For the boss, I took a bunch of primitive flag sets, as you never really know when the ball hits you, the purple assault rifle, which will be able to comfortably shoot all my bullets, a hazard suit to get there, 10 Reapers, a few flashes, and a bunch of medical brews. Is this overkill? Actually, you'll see. Also real quick, my plan to beat Rockwell was to have all my Reapers in the middle bite him, no matter if he was invincible or not, while in the meantime I was my Reaper to bite the tentacles in a clockwise order.
No fucking way. One tentacle, one Reaper, one dream. This is it, this is it, this is it, this is it! Yes, man! Fuck yeah, dude! Half an hour fucking boss fight, but I did it! Holy shit! Oh my god. Yeah, okay, thank you for watching, man. Shit. Beating the boss is gonna be hella easy though. So that's the least of my concerns.